So I have Vic from All City Animal Trapping here today, and we wanted to talk about um, beehive removal and specifically in the city of Los Angeles, beehive removal. And Vic, how do you get rid of a beehive, first of all?
There's a lot of different ways. The situation will present itself. The easier ones, obviously, if there's just a hive hanging from a tree that's not too high, a lot of times we can just make sure we grab all parts of the hive with the queen, and it's that simple. Some of the more difficult ones they're in the wall, and that's where it gets tough because we have to cut open the wall. A lot of people don't want to cut open the wall. So sometimes we would use a smoker to kind of to calm them first and hopefully extract them. But we still have to get the queen out. If the queen isn't out, then they'll keep returning.
Okay.
And then even if it's in the wall too, and we have to make sure we remove all parts of the hive because other bees might come later and smell those pheromones, know that there's a hive in there, and try to use it. Just because it's a hive, it's already built, and they kind of assume that it's safe because there was a hive there once before. So there's a lot of things with bees. They're very clever, very efficient beings. So you have to make sure everything is done right. And we've gone to other jobs too to clean up a mess, say that someone else did as far as in the wall, because half the people want them removed humanely and live. Half the people don't really care as long as they're gone. But we've been to situations where there was a hive in the wall and they just put poison in the wall, close the hole. And then since that opening is closed on the outside, the bees have nowhere to go. So they go inside the house. And then that can be a major issue, especially if there's, allergies and some people are definitely allergic to bees. So, it's really, it depends on what kind of bees. If they're regular carpenter bees or honey bees, that's one thing. But if they're super aggressive and Africanized, then it can be potentially really dangerous. So.
Okay, you said something that is kind of curious. Are you able to remove bees without killing them?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, half our customers want them removed humanely, half don't care either way. It'll be a little bit more on the cost side, just because it's usually more work and a significant amount of more work in terms of just as opposed to just removing a hive. But as long as the queen is out of there, then it's pretty easy from then on out to solve the problem. And
you touched on this, but I wanted to ask it again. Are bees dangerous?
Yeah, absolutely. They can be. Like anything else. If they feel like you're messing with their home, they're going to defend it. If they feel like you're messing with the queen, they will do anything to defend her. So a lot of worker bees, they have two jobs: to pollinate, produce the honey, and then protect the queen at all costs. So you can even do some research on it. I have myself, obviously, but if the queen is gone or dies or something like that, then the other bees, they have nothing left to do, and they usually will die.
Oh, wow.
So it's very interesting, kind of, I guess, how loyal they are, to that and their job and their queen.
Wow. So are there smells that bees hate? Like, can I repel them by laying something out that has a certain odor and they stay away?
Yeah, I've read some of those things. We've tried some of those, a lot of those things. And vinegar, I know, is a big one.
I've heard vinegar. Yeah.
Yeah, they might not like it, but it's nothing I would use as a permanent solution. And they might work for carpenters that are in a tree that's in your yard. They might not work for honeybees that are in your roof 2 stories high. You know what I mean? So. Okay. It's kind of hit or miss, and usually it's a miss. The vinegar will dry out and they'll go right back to what they're doing. I'm sure you're not going to spray a half a gallon of vinegar every day in the same location. You know what I mean? So, it might work, but the problem is it might not.
Okay. So if I'm having like a emergency situation, let's say, is there something that instantly kills bees?
They're tough. I know that. So if unless you have like a fly swatter or something like that, that it can not really. I mean, there's definitely sprays and stuff they sell at a local hardware store that'll help.
Okay.
They'll definitely help. They have foggers and poisons and that kind of thing. But as far as instantly, it's pretty tough because I know certain ones don't work. Like wasp poison isn't really effective on bees, and vice
Mhm.
versa. So it usually makes them more angry and more aggressive and that kind of thing. So it kind of backfires when you start to do stuff like that.
Okay. And what happens if you block the entrance or the exit of a bee's nest?
Well, they need somewhere to go. Like I was explaining, if they seal off the opening and the poison doesn't quite do the trick, then a lot of times they'll go through the other wall. And a lot of times the other wall is drywall that leads into your house and not the, let's say, the stucco that they found a small opening in or made a hive in the wall. So they have to go somewhere if they're alive, and then they'll keep working until they get through whatever that is.
Mhm. And if I have a bee's nest by my house, can it damage my house?
Yeah, absolutely. Because most of the jobs that we get, I would say half, at least half, they're in the wall, and it could have started with a small opening, and now it's the size of a tennis ball. And if we open up the wall, sometimes there's a 4-foot hive in there that you didn't really notice until you've seen a couple bees flying around. So it can definitely cause some property damage. We've taken a beehive out from an attic that was like the size of a VW Bug a few years ago. This
What?
thing was gigantic, and it was the biggest hive I had ever seen, still to this day. So yeah, if it just takes a little bit, and if you don't really pay attention or don't really notice it, it can get really big in no time. And next thing you have something like that in your attic. So they can definitely cause damage from the honey becomes a mess, and the hive is pounds of just straight honey, and then not to mention all the bees and everything else that it comes with. So potentially, yeah, it can be. Sometimes it's the size of a softball and they catch it quick enough and someone can come take it. Sometimes it's the size of a basketball and it happens to be inside the wall that leads into your master bedroom or something like that. So
And that's a
yeah,
problem. That's a big
it
problem.
can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So All City Animal Trapping uh, is a company that if someone needs beehive removal in the city of Los Angeles, this is something that is within your skill set and something that your company offers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any bees, any hornets, wasps. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And how do people find you?
On our website at www.allcityanimaltrapping.com.
Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing this information.
No problem.